Happy Valley on Wednesday nights after a week off. We return to the city circuit with a French flavour as well. The French-made trophy is our feature race at the city circuit. Very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune, joined in the studio here by our form analyst Paul Lally and race caller Brett Davis as well. And Brett, je ne sais quoi, I'm sure, about Wednesday night's programme.
Right, whatever you reckon, Andrew. Yes, it's a French theme, obviously. 5 on 5, no doubt, will be the omen tip, I would have thought, on the French-themed night. But yes, back to the Valley after a fortnight away, so it'll be popular. The weather's been good, and no doubt the beer garden will be flowing.
Isn't Le Panache running as well? All right. Maybe not. Anyway, Paul, what have we got jackpot-wise?
Nothing. No, there's no jackpots, but obviously plenty of good entertainment there, good food and beverages and whatnot, so it should be a really good night. There's some really good races as well, as you say. There's quite even races, a lot of last start winners in there. There's only one first starter, which is unusual. We seem to get quite a lot around this time of the season, but there's only one, and he comes up later on. Yeah, in the last.
All right, we'll get into him a little bit later on. Speaking of John Moy, had a pretty good weekend as we look back in our racing review at the Hong Kong Macau Trophy. 5 runners over from Macau for the weekend, and good standing ultimately came out. I'll tell you, it's a super performance, actually. Travelled beautifully into the straight here, but Paul Green did the visitors proud.
He did, yeah. It wasn't a surprise either. I mean, he was the Derby winner over there, and he ran third in the first leg, the Macau Hong Kong Trophy, behind, of course, Horse of Fortune. They're now retired, but good standing, was very dominant here. He got into a lovely spot, and he really powered away. He's always been a horse that's had plenty of ability, just a few up and downs along the way, Paul.
Yeah, he's had a few internal problems, hasn't he? And that's sort of held him back a little bit. But you haven't seen any of that in the last 2 or 3 starts, and it showed there on the day. And he was pretty dominant, to be honest.
Yeah, Champions Way ran him down, beat him in neck the start before, but he was giving him good standing. Was giving him £7. So just wonder whether they'll bring him out again towards the. With the group, the Lion Rock Trophy still to go.
I would have thought so.
There's the option there.
John Moore seems to give the indication that he's pretty keen on getting a few winners and chasing down the championship if possible. That was his 6th winner in the race as well, so it's another race on the calendar that John Moore has dominated over the years. Yeah,
a good day for Zach Purton as well with the 3 winners. As far as the other winners on the programme were concerned, was Speedy King scrambled home. Guy Dragon was a good winner. Team Spirit was a good winner, actually, from a wide gate with top weight on his back.
Yeah, straight to the front, and it was really well rated in front by Chad Schofield, and the horse won really nicely.
Yep, and a couple down the bottom there that don't win too often. Never Better Fortune Patrol. Intrepid went around at huge odds for a Joe Moreira runner, led all the way. So well done there if you found that.
Yeah, and Beauty Applause was pretty short price, but got the cash as well. All right, those are the big winners on the weekend. We'll see if we can find some more now with our horses to follow. Now, 2 for 1 here with horses to follow. You guys have gone with the same race, but 2 different horses.
I actually think there's a 3rd one in this race, so we could have highlighted 3. The horse that runs 3rd is ultimately the one we haven't highlighted, but I've gone Speedy Missile. Jenny mentioned from the paddock, a nice enough type. If you watch the first half of this race, it just went horribly wrong for him. He was very green throughout the event, but I thought he did a pretty good job in the end to pick it up. He's going to need more racing and more time, but he's on the upward spiral.
Yeah, the one next to him there, I thought Farm Bumper went pretty well as well. This horse had track work. I highlighted his track work leading into the race, and he lived up to it on race day, and I just like the way he really attacked the line. So
we blew the start, didn't he, completely?
Yeah,
Farm Bumper.
Yeah. So it was a run full of merit.
Best for you, the horse that ran 3rd went nice too.
All right, well, I've gone to the last race in Winning Endeavour. Now, this horse had pretty good form coming out of Ireland. He was highly tried. He ran in the Irish 2000 again. He was well beaten. But I thought this effort staying on into 5th place here had the same name when he raced. Sorry, he didn't. It was Glastonbury Song when Ger Lyons trained him in Ireland. But I think he's getting there a bit. But I'm hoping they get back to the Valley. I think Happy Valley will suit him. Guy Dragon, the winner of the race, and Bertha, who was well backed as well, beating Band of Brothers. So I think the form of the race is going to stand up very well. That's picking in 3rd place. So it's a good form race, I think, and so back at the Valley, I think he could be getting some cash.
Yeah, it was a good run. He hit the line nicely, did as well, didn't he?
All right, well, there you go. Those are the horses to follow out of the weekend's programme. Chad Schofield, Salad Mayer and Peter Ho, who was visiting for the weekend, got 5 days for Little Wise Man, who veered in violently in the straight.
That was nearly almost classified as reckless riding too, the stewards suggested. They managed to give him a careless riding fine, 5 days, but on the borderline of reckless.
All right, and he eventually ran 2nd behind Glen Ely.
Actually had a reasonable day overall. He had sure win as well, had a big price that ran second too. So it was just one of those unfortunate situations.
Yeah, Frankie Law gave him a couple of good rides, didn't he? So there you go. Those are the suspensions out of the weekend, though. As far as Happy Valley is concerned and what's happening here, well, Rocketeer, unfortunately, not going round in the third event. He is scratched, not replaced. But circuit number 1 is by Victorious Seeker. So circuit's number 1, having his second start, he won't be going round. All right, so this is meeting number 72 of the season. We're back on the A course here after a week away. We had the dirt program at Shartin last week, of course, and we kicked things off with the Deauville August Yearling Sales Handicap. This is a Class 4 over the Flying 5, headed by My Chance, who is 4th behind Sunshine Universe down the straight. The 1,000 last time out. Super Lucky was winner over the 1,200 metres here back in January. Hainan Star tries Happy Valley for the first time. Hong Kong Win right up behind Mr. Right, course and distance last time out. Sailors, Hood on, Tongue Tie on. He was beaten favourites on his debut. This is his second start. Kobe Win, there was money for him on debut as well. Dragon Dance has won over the 1,400 metres this season. And Regency Gem, barrier 11 for him. He's 0 from 5 to date, off a mark of 41 here. Dragon Dance for Mi Choi has been up at Chung Fro in the last month. He's had a couple of trips in actual fact, Brad.
Start with a dashing 1,000-metre race. They've only got good as the potential speed. There's not a lot of high speed in it. We know Hong Kong Winner showed some pace in just a few starts, and Hainan Star. Kobe Win actually showed some speed on debut as well. Ever Brave won't be too far away. My Chance is drawn low, but might be outpaced early. But overall, yeah, not a huge amount of tempo, possibly.
This horse is going well. Hainan Star and his track work, he really stretching out nicely down the back straight. His best run when he was fresh over this distance, albeit at Shartin, but he has trialled well at Happy Valley and he's drawn 1, so he looks like he's going to be a major player in the race. Hong Kong Win, he's come on from his second start. He ran really nicely behind Mr. Right on that occasion. Another one that's drawn well. So again, he's going to be in the finish there, and he goes nicely, as you can see, with his track work. Nice and relaxed horse is Hong Kong Win. And Kobe Win, now he was well backed on debut. He didn't have the best of runs, I think. He's never been a Happy Valley before. That's the query with him. But he has won a 1,000-metre trial with Shartin. Right,
OK, so he certainly has appeared to have the speed. Let's start off here with My Chance. This is at Shartin, so down the straights. And what are his better efforts today?
Yeah, well, he's had 2/3 from his 10 starts, and they've been in Class 3. He's had 1/4 as well. So if you go right back through his form to the early stages of this season and even last season, there were some competitive runs from him. Both of them were at the Valley, and both times he was spec'd in the market too. So I think coming down in grade, he hasn't had a run since mid-February, and there's been no trial either, so I'd be keeping him very safe.
Yeah, he's placed a couple of times at Happy Valley as well, so the course doesn't look too bad for him. I put him in on a minor line.
All right, he's had a little freshen up as well since February. Hong Kong Win, this was just his second start after finishing 9th on debut. Regency Gem and Casemiro.
Wasn't overly convinced with Casemiro at this stage, but I thought Regency Gem actually ran OK, and Hong Kong Win, going into his second start, stuck on a lot better with the benefit of a run under the belt.
Yeah, I got one to beat him, but I thought it was a good form race too, because Mr. Wright's a course and distance specialist, as we know, and I thought he stuck on really nicely here, so I'll give him a good chance.
All right, OK, one more key race to have a look at, and that's Ever Brave and Bandy. Bandy finishing well down the field. This was his debut performance.
Yeah, he started 100-1, Bandy, and only beat one home. Ever Brave, he continues to suggest that a win is around the corner. This will be start 20 for him. There's quite a fair bit of money early for him to run a place. And so far, that'd be the line that you'd be most confident about. Finding him winning is probably difficult because he's had a few chances and hasn't got it done yet. But he'll be thereabouts.
Yeah, he's had his chances, hasn't he? I didn't get him in.
All right. One more of the principles is Hainan Star. Let's hear from his jockey, Zach Burton.
Zach, Hainan Star hasn't raced since December. You've ridden him in a couple of trials. What sort of feel has he given you?
Well, he's a big, heavy, gross horse, and he's probably going to get better as he goes on with a little bit more racing. But he's got speed. You know, he gets around the valley quite well. So hopefully we can get a good start and be in a good spot and see if he can get the job done.
In the Valley trial that you rode him in, bounced him out, went to the lead, seemed to travel pretty well. Is that the sort of way you'd like to ride him on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I don't think he's got much tactical versatility at the moment. I think he's a horse you just want to get into his rhythm and try and use his speed.
He's still only a 3-year-old. Mentally, looking at the way he goes about his business, is he still a bit raw?
He's very raw, yeah, which is why you can't do a lot with him at the moment. And he's so big. He's just not furnished. He hasn't got the race brain at the moment, but that'll come with time.
Is there something there, natural ability-wise?
He's got the natural ability, of course. He sort of lacks, even though he's a big horse, he probably lacks a little bit of strength in the latter part of his race, but he's got the speed, and that takes them quite a way here.
All right, there you go. That's Hainan Star, be one of the shorter ones in the market here. Paul, what do you like, though?
Yeah, I like him. I think this is his race. He goes really well for fresh, this horse, and you know, his best run, I think, has been on the fresh side. He's trialled well. He's got barrier 1, Zach Purton aboard, and he's only a 3-year-old, so he's allowed to improve. And so he's on top to beat Hong Kong Win, who stayed on really nicely last time. We'll give Kobe Win another chance. His work leading into his debut run was really good, and he didn't get the best of runs. I think he'll learn a lot from that, and my chance for 4th. So in 4-5-9-1.
I think my chance might be the horse to beat, but I've gone with Hong Kong Win. I like the way he's stuck on a little bit better. He's had the advantage of a run at the track over a Hainan Star. My chance is definitely a Winning Hope, and Everbrae's been consistent. So 4, 5, 4, 1 and 6 in the first.
All right, yep. 4 and 5, 5 and 4, that's my cue as well. Those, I think those two stand out in our opening event, which is a Class 4. No Class 5s, in actual fact, on the programme, so short break for us. We're back with race number 2, 1,200 metres for the second.